How we doing? You know, I have a lot of interesting things to talk about right now. I was like just yapping to myself. I was like, wow, I have such interesting conversations to have with myself right now. I want to yap. And I was like, I need to film this. I don't think I'm going to be yapping that much because I want to put like another Bitácora, this Taurus Bitácora episode out. And I think just in general, I could do it because I want to yap. But at the same time, I think I could make it all in the same topic, so we can just roll in with it. Yeah. So welcome. If you're new here, let me tell you, this is the Starship's Bitácora. No, the Stars Bitácora, okay? Basically, just a little diary in which I just say everything that I've learned that, could be a little bit helpful for you. And I'm just like, you know what? I really should tell them this. They should know. They should know. Okay, so today I was watching this reading, this tarot reading for me, and I was like, it's been so long since I felt peace. And not like peace as in my life is a mess and this is horrible. No. Like I'm fine, I'm happy, but I'm not at peace though. And I needed some peace, and I was like, I wouldn't say such a strong, but I have some sort of aversion to meditating. The sitting cross-legged and just breathe for as long as you can. Like, it's not bad, and I actually do like it many times. But I just thinking about meditating, I'm like, I don't want to, right? And I'm a very logical, I'm a very, explain it all type of brain. And I was thinking, meditation, you don't need to do meditation to want to. What do I mean by this? Is what you want in your life, it's not specifically meditation, but you want a mindfulness practice, okay? Meditation is one way to on the timer. Meditation is one way to have a mindfulness practice, okay? There's other ways of having mindfulness practice. Now, let me help you break this down because, sometimes you don't want to think. I'll think for you, okay? Mindfulness practice are all those practices that bring you to the moment now, okay? And this can be anything that keeps you anchored on the right now, right? And that is not a distraction, and that is not deviating you far from other things. For example, playing video games could maybe anchor you in the right now because you have to be paying attention to what's happening right now on the video game, okay? But that is not beneficial for you because it's a distraction. It's not something that keeps you anchored right now and keeps you grounded, peaceful. Many, let me tell you some types of mindfulness practices that you can do. For example, you can do mindful walking. Okay, you go walking and you try to feel everything that changes as you walk. When you step, how you feel the floor getting on your feet, and then how all your weight goes into it, and how your feet kind of expands to the other side, and when you lift it, when you put the other foot, right? You can do that. That's mindfulness. Mindfulness is paying full attention to the right now. You can also do mindfulness smelling the fucking roses. You go outside, you have a beautiful garden, and you just go and you smell the roses, and you try to really remember the scent. And you try to break it down, and I don't know. What I would do, for example, is, okay, if this smell was a painting, how would it be? It would have a lot of this color, a lot of that color. If the smell was the song, whatever, right? Things that anchor you in the moment. This you can do, for example, with your five senses. Okay, if you're asking yourself right now, okay, how do I find the one that fits for me? Because everything in life is just what works for you is the best. Four in the timer. What works for you is the best. Okay, what works for you to get healed, what works for you to get happy, what works for you to get unstressed, and anti-stressant, 5 ways for you to get peace, to get whatever you want. What works, works. As long as it's only good and not like good and bad, like a distraction that is, oh my god, an easy choice that gets you to a hard life. Remember this: easy choices, hard life, hard choices, easy life, okay? That is what works for you. If it works for you, it works for you, girl. Do it, okay? And there's a lot of that. You can do mindfulness while eating, right? You can have some mindful eating practices. I don't do it as much, but I really, really like to enjoy my food. I'm a Taurus, and I'm such a foodie. I'm such a foodie. I love it. Ugh, the way to buy me, get me something. Get me ice cream. My favorite food is ice cream. Get me ice cream, bruh. A little chocolate, a Kit Kat, something like that. But there's many, many ways that you can do mindfulness practices. For example, intentional singing, improvising. Do it in the moment. The next note is this note is the only note that matters. That's mindfulness. Dancing, improvising again. All that it's art, I would say improvising. Improvising really works. Painting, literally whatever. Crochet, oh my god, crochet. It's an incredible, incredible, incredible mindful practice. Okay? It's incredibly meditative. And I'm not telling you not to meditate, but for example, if you're the type of person that like I really want to do something good for myself, but I'm like I don't want to just I don't really want to sit still. And like, it may be hard for you, or you may be like bored of it. Or for example, like me, when I do it I like it, but to get me sat and meditating, it's a thing. It's a whole thing. Like I don't dislike meditating, but getting me sat and to meditate, I don't like it. And let me tell you something. Another thing that you can do for mindfulness is come back to a memory, to a place, to a situation in which you feel incredibly relaxed. I do this two ways, right? I love sunbathing, right? So I'm the type of person, how's it called? I'm a lizard, okay? I go in the sun and I stay there. Oh yeah, I feel my organs shutting down. This is so hot. I love it. I do that, okay? And I love taking, oh my god, I love taking, naps in the ray of the sun. I love feeling the sun on my skin, just the warmth, like a little hug. I love that, okay? So, for example, one thing that I could do is, just either sit in the sun. If I can sit on the sun, I'm gonna sit on the sun and I'm just gonna, oh, yeah, I love this. A little tanning session. Or another thing that I really, really like, that this one is just magical for me. And if you have a bath, even better. It's thinking about having a bath. Okay, I don't have a bath. I have a shower. But one way that I do to get myself on the mindset of I'm taking a bath, a so relaxing bath, that slows me down so crazy. It's I think of myself like I'm on this podcast and people are asking me about it. So I start narrating it, okay? And I'm actually narrating it for myself to make it easier for me to imagine how it is and to get in the situation. But girl, if it helps, it helps. However, it's good for you, it's good for you. If it resonates, it resonates. Always responsibly. But yeah, if it resonates. And if it works, it works. Okay? So for example, today I saw that video, that reading, and I was like, wow, it's been so long since I've had like peace. Right? Because I'm happy, I'm fine. That was confirmation. Like, I'm happy, I'm fine, I'm joyful, I'm having the time of my life, 0909. But it's been so long since I was just like, and I love the energy of peace. It feels so nice. It's so, I like that it's not volatile at all, right? Because sometimes you're happy and your happiness can lead you to being anxious. Sometimes you're like having fun and your having fun can lead you to very volatile emotions, right? I worked with my emotions a lot because I feel very, very strong. So I've worked a lot about it, like on emotional maturity and everything, because I couldn't do my life without it. And, it's not easy for me to, what was I gonna say? You know? It's normal for me to, have shifts. I have so much control over it now, but it's normal for me, shift from one energy to the other like really fucking fast. And I like 10-10 on the motherfucking timer. And I really, really like, just peace because it's so unvolatile. Just talking about peace, I slow down. And, I think happiness is a choice, and that's probably the thing that had you told me that when I was 14, I would have been like, yeah, sure. But it is. And in my last video, the yapping session, the first yapping session, I talked about it, that I think my little key to happiness is focusing on the things that I like. This flower is pretty. The world is ending, but this flower is pretty. Damn, this flower is so pretty. Oh my god, it smells so nice. Oh my god, look at this petal, it's so soft. Ah! Behind me, there's a building just crashing down, a tsunami. We got, we got fire everywhere. And I'm just like, oh my god, this flower is so pretty. Like that. And, that's just how I do it. But I really, really like peace. And, sometimes even just if you have nature nearby, okay? I have nature like very, very nearby, but I'm like, I'm gonna go afoot, right? I'm gonna go walking there. I'm gonna sit in nature, and my energy is gonna leave there. I'm gonna be so docile. I don't know how I'm gonna walk back. Like, that's the only reason why I don't go. I love nature. I love trees. I love being surrounded by birds and, having that everywhere. I love bugs. I love every single animal ever. I love trees. I love trees. I really do love trees. I love, 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 love trees, okay? But yeah, I think sometimes mostly when you're like lazy, or like when you're finding it hard to, to put on the big boy pants and go do the thing that you got to do, find a way to do it that doesn't require you much effort. What do I mean by this? There's this book, Atomic Habits, that I haven't read, but I've heard about and I've known about, because I'm the type of reader that I read a lot of novels and a lot of romantic stuff and a lot of whatever, but I cannot read, things that are just boring. I cannot read boring books, I'm sorry. Right? And that qualifies as a boring book for me. But there's this thing in Atomic Habits that I think is so important, because a lot of people are stuck in habits that don't work for them, and this is basically the key. This is basically my fucking key to breaking bad habits. It's crazy. Okay, so the first thing is that a habit has 3 stages. Every habit, good or bad, has 3 stages. First, you need to, I don't know the other stages, but I'm gonna try to make it work. Okay, you search this. If I'm not that clear, search it up. Okay. But one of them is, it's aesthetically pleasing. It's nice. It's it's like, oh my god, like it catches your eye. You're like, wow, I like to look at that, right? You just, for example, when you're in your house and you have the food and you have the TV, and then you see the chair that is supposed to make you exercise, and it's just like, oh, I look at it and I feel pain, right? That's not attractive at all. First thing is, it's attractive, like having the couch right in front of the TV with the snacks on the side. That's so fucking attractive, because you look at it and you're like, oh, if I sit there, I'm just gonna, right? That's attractive to you. Because also the way things are attractive, it's by the way you look at it and immediately what you feel, right? A lot of times, for example, I was having such a strong aversion to studying piano, because I don't like being told what to do, right? So if you tell me you need to study, the main thing I'm gonna do is avoid studying, okay? And I was doing that. I was like, why am I avoiding piano when I am, learning to play the piano because I like it, because I want to, right? So instead I shifted that, right? This is, if it works, if you want to do it, I love that. I shifted that. I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I really want to play piano, right? So for example, I got just out of my piano class and I had to play on my little teclado, and I'm like, right? And I said like, oh my god, I love this piano class. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play. And I play the piano and I leave before I get frustrated. Okay, this is something that I've learned about myself, is that sometimes I want to try hard, and by doing that I burn myself out. So when I leave my hobby or the thing that I'm learning, I'm already a little frustrated, a little like tired of it. So the next time I'm gonna do it, that's the feeling that creeps up, like, oh no, I'm so tired, I don't want to do that, right? Like, ugh, I'll do it later. Because, like, the first time I started learning Japanese, I was, like, there for 3 fucking hours on conversational Japanese. Chinese, actually. In conversational Chinese. And then the next time I was gonna do it, I was like, I don't have to do it 3 hours. I can do it 5 minutes and get a nice habit of 5 minutes, okay? But yeah. So it's attractive, first thing, okay? Second thing, it's at the reach of your hand. I don't know how to explain it. It's there. So, for example, if you want to drink more water, okay, what you're gonna want to do is make it attractive. For example, get you a cup, a pretty little cup that's so pretty. I got one that was like it was plastic, so I stopped using it. But they had like this pink straw, and it was like translucent, but it looked like it had this pink little diamonds all over, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And it was so pretty, and just having such a pretty cup, I was like, I want to drink water. Oh, I want to drink water. Right? I was having like a little bit of a trouble drinking water, so I got myself that. I'm like, oh my god, yes, let's go, let's drink water. I want to use this. It's so pretty, right? And I also had it always where I could see, right? So if I was the whole time on my room, I always had that in a point in which I could see it, like turn around to the desk and, oh my god, there's my pretty cup. Oh my god, I'm kind of thirsty, right? Like that. And I think there's a third one. Is there a third one, or are those just the two? I think it's like making it attractive, making it easy, right? So every habit has that. Oh, and getting a reward after it. I don't know if that's from the Atomic Habits, but that's important. Mostly if you identify with having ADHD or like some sort of attention disorder, it's not attention disorder. Okay, the thing is that your brain is not generating the dopamine. Okay, dopamine is this hormone that we get when we're supposed to get. When, for example, I do a task, I get dopamine. What is the dopamine a fuel of? Of movement, of doing things. For example, if you don't have dopamine, you cannot move your body. If you have zero fucking dopamine, you cannot move your body. Dopamine, it's what we could call, I don't know, the motivation hormone, okay? It's important to get dopamine. And there's many, many ways to get dopamine. For example, if you first cut down, the best way of doing better is avoiding worse, okay? So first cut down on the things that mess up your dopamine, okay? Cut down on the things that messed up your dopamine. And then, if you feel like it, do for example, you do a chore that you're like, oh my god, I have to, I don't know, do this thing that, it's a little heavy on you. The same way that I did on piano, because I was like, I love piano. Why am I having such a trouble getting onto the piano? Okay? Make it light for you, okay? And you'll know how to do this. Take it if it resonates. As I always say, take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But for example, the way I do it is I make it very light, and every time, I sit on the piano like, oh my god, I love this, and I say it to myself to remember I love this. Oh my god, I love this. I love playing the piano because this and that, and I love how my fingers glide, and I love how I'm learning to do this, and I love this and that, and positively reinforce that, right? Another thing that's like a simplest technique is every time you finish a task, don't make it too long and excruciating and to the point that you get exhausted. Know yourself. If you're getting exhausted, that's your body saying, hey, stop. We've crossed the line already, okay? Know yourself. Listen to your body. Listen to yourself. But let's say you finish a task. I don't know, you should have like a 10-minute study break for whatever you're studying for. And you stop and you're like, wow, that was really good. First thing I would do is say to yourself, wow, that was really good. I really love it. I'm so thankful that I get to study this. I love my career. I love this. I love that I'm learning. I love this word specifically that I'm learning on this type of language, this or whatever, right? Positively reinforce it, but you can also, generate dopamine by laughing. So there's this trick that I don't use it much, but, you can use it, which is counting with laughs. So, ha, ha ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, and you're supposedly, you know, at a point you're gonna laugh. The reason why I don't do it much is because I don't laugh, okay? But, you know, you're supposed to laugh. Maybe I did it wrong. I don't know. You're supposed to laugh. Okay, and that way you get the dopamine that you need. And you can actually, your body's like, oh yeah, refreshing, I'm motivated, right? Get that dopamine. Get that dopamine, okay? Oh my god. But yeah, just in general, in spirituality, use what works for you. Not only in spirituality, just in general life, use what works for you. Some people, they really work with waking up at 5 a.m. and doing a lot of stuff, crazy things, and just from 5 a.m. I don't. But you know, I gotta finish the video here. But I'll probably make a second part, okay?